and I am the founder and visionary of A Gift to Dance. And I want to tell you about my book. It's called A Gift to Dance, Cultivating Your Ministry.
In this book, I detail how to understand your call, starting and maintaining your ministry, giving it structure, dance etiquette, how to flow in different shifts of the spirit, garment care, and so much more. To purchase your signed copy, please click the link down below in the description box.
You can use this as a tool and a resource to take your ministry to the next level. So grab your copies now.
When you come in your kingdom,
Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Dance Room. This is the Atlanta series. If you haven't already, please go ahead and like and subscribe to our channel, A Gift to Dance TV. Also, follow us on Instagram and like our page on Facebook at A Gift to Dance Conference. Today, I have a special guest who I hold near and dear to my heart. I know her, but y'all may not know her. So please go ahead and introduce yourself to everyone.
Hello, everyone. My name is Kendra Bivins. I am the director of the dance ministry at Elizabeth Baptist Church, which is known as Wings of Gabriel. And I've been directing there for, at least 15 or 16, maybe 17 years now. I'm not even sure. I've lost count. But, just still there trying to continue to lead the pack as much as I possibly can. Sorry.
Yeah. Okay. Well, welcome. We're going to have some fun today, all right?
All right.
So let's go ahead and get to it. What does the dance ministry mean to you?
So for me, the dance ministry, it really is more so of a safe place. I view it more so, of course, it's ministry, but given that it should be a safe place for you to come and, lay all of your problems, your issues, whatever may be a burden or even a joy to you, if you want to express that unto God and deliver that message for yourself and also to usher others into worship. But I think you first have to start within yourself. So ministry and dance can be done in your household. If you minister to yourself and you work out that amongst yourself, then you're preparing yourself to go forth, and you can even bring that to your ministry and minister amongst your other sisters or dance members, and then you all collectively go out, one mind, one body, one sound, and deliver that entire message to the people. So I look at it as, a safe place to come, and also another place for you to just release that unto the people when you're dancing. It should never be about you. You should always be about, the Lord.
Absolutely. What do you think the role of the dance ministry is in the church? I know a lot of people have different definitions of what they believe it to be, but what do you believe it to be?
Great question. I believe the role of the dance ministry is honestly no different from any other worship and arts role in the church. I believe we are a vessel, a tool that should be used and should be used frequently to help engage and usher in and shift the atmosphere for worship. So I know sometimes a lot of people have, I guess, the backstories of, being felt like we're just props,
Yeah.
or, they only want you to stand there and wave flags and look pretty. I've heard it all.
Yes.
And we take offense to that because for us it's a little more of not just being a prop. It is, matter of fact, it's a lot more than not just being a prop. There's a lot of hours, there's a lot of work, there's a lot of prayer that's put into it, especially when you take it as seriously as we should take it. But when you're told to just wave flags or just get up there and do whatever, not understanding the preparation and the time and even the meditation that's put into selecting a song and making sure that it's something that God wants you to deliver. And so just getting up there to do whatever is not really to me of God. You wouldn't say that to the minister. You wouldn't say that to the praise team, because everything should have order.
Yes, and I strongly urge all pastors and ministers of music to at least to attend a dance conference or workshop or seminar or clinic at least twice, not one time, but 2 times, so you can get a full understanding of it. So maybe you wouldn't take it so for granted as they do now. Like you
Right.
said, a lot of pastors, they'd be like, "Oh, we just gonna bring them out when we got somebody in the house," or as a space filler if they had songstress ain't at the church, you know what I'm saying? Or
Yeah.
maybe they didn't consecrate fully and they don't have a word to give. Because sometimes that happens. Sometimes pastors go blank and they be
Right.
like, okay, well, just let the dancers come out and see what happens from there. So
Right.
I strongly urge y'all to please attend. You can attend the Get to Dance conference. At least attend and see what it's all about. Now, given that you've been in this thing for a long time, like over a decade, when I say a long time, I mean over a decade. So, given that you've been in this for a minute now, what is some advice that you can give to those who are starting out in ministry?
Ooh. So for me, let me back up. So when I first started, I knew it was something that I was supposed to be doing, but I didn't. I guess I wasn't fully prepared for the journey, and I don't think we ever are. A journey is, you take everything, you learn your lessons as you go. But I would say if it's a passion and it's a not even beyond a passion, a calling that you strongly have, and God is really spoken to you about this is what he desires of you to do. My advice would be to attend conferences first, to study, to really know what it is that you're walking into, because it's heavy and you don't realize what you're getting into, and the role of even just being a director or a leader or whatever the title is for your church or whatever you're deciding to build on. That role comes with a lot of weight, and it's lonely. And I was told that many years ago, that it was going to be a lonely road, and it has been. It has had very, different dimensions, different levels of things, but just looking back over the years, um, it's not easy, especially when you're amongst the mass of people. When you're trying to, do what's right, or you're trying to figure things out, and you're not gonna always get it right. You're gonna lose some things. You're gonna mess up sometimes. And throughout all of that, God is still building your character. He is still building and strengthening you to just be able to just stand firm and continue to press forward for him. So if it is a desire, if it is something that you strongly believe that God has called you to do, then do the work. Do the work first. It'll kind of prepare you for the other things. But then you're still going to have lessons that you're just going to have to learn throughout the process. But it's blessings beyond that. It's blessings throughout that. I wouldn't actually change any of the heartache or the pain and the sweat or any of the things that I've experienced. I wouldn't change it because I can see how it has made me a better woman and a better sister, a better wife, a better person, just being in it.
Yeah, absolutely. It's really waters off the duck's back. Really and truly, if you look at it in hindsight, of course, once you're in it, you're like, oh my God, why is this happening? But it is building character and it's really strengthening you and sharpening you for when more stuff down the road comes and you'll know how to handle it.
Right.
And how to move with wisdom and stuff like, okay, well, I recognize this, so I should do this. So just keep that in mind. Don't be discouraged. It's fun.
Very much so. I actually just sent a text message to my team leaders yesterday because I posted on Instagram, but I texted them the message first, and I was listening to House of Prayer by Eddie James, and I was in the car driving home just praising and dancing in my head. I made up a whole nother choreography because I couldn't remember the one we did.
Yes.
And so I told them, I was like, guys, I said, the way I danced in this car on the way home, I said, I ministered to every car that passed me. I said, but I really miss our fellowship. I miss our meetings. They would come to my house and sit on the couch and we would have, just meetings or create. But it's a sisterhood, or it's just it's a second family, and it can be. Yeah.
It's a wonderful journey. Oh my goodness, I miss my dance fam too. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh guys.
Right.
Now, what about those who are seasoned? It's a lot of us right now. Some of us have a lot of creative juices flowing and we're just waiting to get it out. And then there's some who are actually drawing blanks right now because of this pandemic. So what are some advice that you can give to the seasoned dancers?
That's great. That's a great question because I feel like I'm in that category. And I think that for us, I guess more so just staying in that creative flow if you already are in it, and kind of, challenging that energy, and even if it's you got to go in that other room and just make it up, and I guess put it to the side so you can pull it out later, or record yourself. Do Zoom calls with your people if you want to. I for us that hasn't been the best, because I find when people are at home, especially if you're working, your moms, it's a lot of other distractions. So it's kind of been hard to pull that kind of let's meet on a Zoom or let's try to put a dance together apart. So that kind of for us, it's kind of been something that we've not been able to collectively come together to do. But for the ones that are kind of drawing a blank, I think that's okay also, because I've been in that headspace too, where over the years, sometimes you do draw blanks, and I feel like that's when you need to seek out others and feed off of them. Again, finding just a different direction maybe, and studying up under someone else, attending a conference if there's one. But just kind of pulling yourself back to a place where you can find a new fire, if that's a good word to use, because sometimes you lose that get up, or that fire, or that could be even when we were in church, sometimes you kind of lose it and you're like, I just don't really feel like dancing right now. I don't feel like doing anything. You kind of have to gather yourself, center yourself, separate yourself sometimes, and come back to it.
Yeah. And don't stay away from it too long.
Right. That's because you probably won't come back. Some people don't come back.
Yeah, they just leave it there and just be like, all right, peace, and then just
Yeah.
move on to something else. We will meet again. I know it's a lot going on right now and the world is just in chaos, but we will meet again because we are needed right
Yes.
now. So we will meet again. Just stay encouraged. All right. So, how do you categorize your ministry? And what I mean by that is, are you a praiser? Do you worship? Are you in warfare? Do you
Mm.
veil? Or are you prophetic?
Great question. Um, I think we are a mix of praise and worship.
Mm-hmm.
And I would say we have collectively done pieces or different, depending on what's either requested or needed at that time. There have been some warfare songs, and there have been some prophetic songs. So I kind of think for us, we kind of shift between most of them. Um, Even with pageantry, I mean, that's actually become one of my favorite, but everybody isn't, some people are intimidated by the flags or the whole display of all the poles of the material or how to use it. Some people rhythm is not there. So, I think with a ministry as large as ours, we have a mix of people that are able to kind of bring a lot of different things. So we kind of shift to what's needed, or even sometimes it could be, where we are in that season.
Okay. And
So,
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
no, go ahead.
I was gonna ask, do you all include mime into your, ministry moments?
So, yes, we have collaborated with our Mind Ministry a few times. I think this year we were planning to do more. But we definitely have done it in the past. Matter of fact, the song that you guys did at the conference last year. Oh, I'm drawing a blank. Oh gosh, what's the
Settle
song?
here.
Yes. So ironically, after the conference, the mime, Sonia Williams, the mimer at our church, she had already previously brought that song to me, and it didn't register until I heard it at the conference. And then I was like, "Oh," I said, "Girl, I know. I've already seen that done. Okay, I got you." But of course, we never got a chance to kind of recreate it. But yeah, so we try to collaborate whenever we have an opportunity that presents itself.
Okay, well that's good to hear. Now let's dig a little bit deeper.
Okay.
What is the greatest moment you've experienced
Wow.
in ministry? I know we have a lot of them,
Yeah.
but what's in that top three?
Hmm. Okay. Oh, let me think. Okay. So when you asked the question, one thing popped out in my mind instantly, which I don't know if it's considered the greatest, but it's definitely something that. So okay, when I joined Elizabeth, EBC, it was like 2000, the end of 2004, maybe 2005, and I remember seeing the dancers on a Sunday, and it was, yeah, Sunday in September. So I saw one in the hallway, and I was like, "Hey, I want to know how to be a part of your ministry." And the young lady said, "Hey, just come next Saturday. You can join then." And I did. So I knew it was a place that I was looking. When I saw them dance, I was like, "This is for me. This is what I've been looking for." So of course, I joined the ministry, and 2 years later, the director that I was up under, her name was Ingra. She came to me and she said, well, they called me Twin at that time, but she said, "Twin, I'm stepping down and you're ready." And I was like, "Ready for what?" And she said, "You're up next." And I was like, "What do you mean?" She said, "No, I've been watching you for these 2 years. And she said, I never said a word to you, but she said, you're the one. And I'm like, again, the one for what? And she's like, you can take over this ministry. And I was like, well, first of all, I didn't sign up for that. And I was like, no, like, you sure? And she said, yes, you're ready. And I'm like, ooh. So for me, then it was like, wow, someone has really been watching me and paying attention to just my leadership skills or just me, and I am just trying to hide in the corner most of the times. And so I remember we did Order My Steps one Sunday. Well, we were working on that dance. And that's when we used to wear all girl. We used to have like head wraps, stockings, ballet shoes. I mean, you name it, we was cut. You couldn't see nothing but maybe the fingernails, but no, we had gloves on too. So we were working on that dance, and Ingrid asked who would want to do like the solo parts, right? And of course, I was very new, and no one would like say anything. She was like, "Well, I want you guys to go home and like kind of practice and like meditate on a song and see who wants to take the solo parts." So I remember, because no one said anything and practice, and I'm still shy whether you believe that or not, but I was like, I'm not saying anything to her. And I texted her that night and I said, because it was like God was like, Kendra, you got this. And I was like, okay. So I texted her and I said, Ingrid, I'll take it. I was like, I'll work on the part. I was like, but I could not say anything because it kept bothering me. And that was another moment for me. Like, I was like, I felt like I was stepping out of my safe zone.
Yeah.
And ever since then, it's been, of course, a propel forward, but I've fallen in the ditches a few times. So.
It happens.
Yes, it happens.
Now, what's the most embarrassing moment you've had in ministry? We all got them. I know I do.
Yes.
We all got them.
So,
we falling out to us missing a step or two, or
yes,
falling down, or our garment, even though we done pinned it, the pants done fell off. That's what happened to me once.
Yes. Well, I've had a few, but I guess the one that just jumped out again was the ponytail situation. I had ponytail in, and we did. Oh man, I can't remember whatever song this was. Whoever choreographed it had us doing rollovers on the floor because we had carpet then, and I guess one too many of those rollovers, the pins started rolling out of the ponytail, and thankfully it did not come all the way undone, but it started unraveling.
Yeah.
So it was kind of like down here by the time we finished the dance, and the pins are all over the floor. And I remember us finishing, and somebody was laughing because they were like, Pastor Oliver walked down and he was picking up the bobby pins off the carpet, and I was like, oh my God, I'm so embarrassed. Yeah, that's probably one of the many. I've had a few also. I've slipped.
Wow. Yeah, that happened to me too. And I remember once, this is when I first got started. We had just got these purple dresses, and I believe a lot of the churches have them. That purple dress with the bejeweled cross in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we had just got those, so we ready. We excited to debut them to the church. This is when Changing was on Snapfinger. Probably like 06, 07. So I was up there dancing, and the stage is huge. Like, the stage was like really, really big. So it was a lot of space for us to just move around. So this particular Sunday, they placed me on the side by the musicians. And this is when like the original band was like there and stuff like that. So they over there jamming and stuff, and the organ was like right here on that side, and then I had all of this space. So I would be careful not to turn into the organ, but the band is right there so they can see me. I did this move, and all of a sudden, my dress flew up in my face, and I couldn't see, and I was like, "Oh my god!" Like I panicked, like I was like, "Oh my god!" And I just turned and looked, and I could just see the band, like, God, what is happening? I was so embarrassed, but I kept dancing as soon as it was over. Soon as praise and worship was over, I hurried up and came down the stairs so quick and went straight to the back. I was like, did y'all see that? Oh my goodness. They tried to play it off. Everybody didn't see it, but my leader at the time, she saw it. She was like, it's okay. Like, we just got the dresses. You was breaking it in. But I didn't, it was this, it just, thank God I had on my stuff.
Yes.
I was so embarrassed. I was like, oh my goodness, I can't believe this just happened to me. Like,
right.
What?
Yeah.
Just thinking about it now, I just remember how
You cringe.
I felt in that moment. I was like, oh my God, that really happened. Church was packed that morning too. So I know everybody and their mama saw that junk. And I was like, wow. Everybody just saw my palazzo pants. That's deep. So
see, and that's a good thing about layers, because you know some people be out here improperly dressed, and if that was a day or just in, if you were not educated on the proper garment, then you would have shown everything that did not need to be seen.
Right. And we have to stray away from getting garments that like the professional dance world wear.
Exactly.
Because it's not appropriate.
It's not
catered for them to be more flowy and kind of fitting so they can do all of the flips and stuff that they do. Mm-hmm. But for us, since we're sacred, we have to make sure that we gird our bodies properly, mm-hmm. with the right garments, with the right garments, the unitars, make sure it's the right colors, yes, underneath it, the right quality. Because sometimes one thing I've been noticing is that a lot of people want to like cut corners and save money. They go to like I call them the little thought stores in mm-hmm. the mall. You know, the stores in the mall that sell all the,
the frou-frou.
Yeah, little frou stuff. So they get the little onesies from out of there and call it a unitard. And I just be like, where are you going?
Right. And be cotton and all see-through and stretched out.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And still stuff just be moving. And I'd be like, come in, sit down. Just sit this one out. We good. Yeah. Please invest, because this is the thing. Even though it may be a little bit on the expense, I think the most expensive one I purchased was $45. Mm-hmm. But I've had it since I started. Mm-hmm. So that's the thing. It's a one-time investment. Of course, as you get older, I just bought a new one. So this is my second one in a 13-year span.
Exactly. And that's the same for me.
Yeah, just invest, you guys. It's worth it. Be sure that your garments line up with what you're ministering, because I talked about this the other night. What you don't want to do is have on the wrong garment, and it throws off the entire ministry moment. Like, say for instance, you have on black and you talking about stepping into the joy of the Lord.
Right.
Right. What? Where's the colors?
Right.
Yeah, where's the festiveness? So those things matter. Men, y'all too. Make sure you go to, your local sporting goods stores and get what you need. Because I'm going to look. I'm be honest, I'm going to look, and that's going to be a problem. I'm just put
quite
that
naturally, out. Being a human.
Yeah, I'm going to look. Now, what are your do's and don'ts in ministry?
Well, pertaining to like specific things or
just everything. I know some
Um,
people, theirs is more so on the presentation side.
mhm,
Some is more so on the spiritual side. And
mhm.
then some is more so things that could go behind the scenes. So, what are your do's and don'ts in ministry?
3 units. The babies are from at 5 to 12. The teenagers are 13 to 18, and adults 19 and up. So, and we kind of have guidelines for each group. But I can say for the teens and the babies and the teens, so we just basically kind of lay out, okay, this is our structure. We also ask parents to be proactive in how they interact with basically we do videos for them to practice, right? And so my request is make sure that your child gets some practice time in at home, because if they were on the dance not ministry, the dance troupe, or the soccer, the basketball, we all set them up for practice for that. But somehow, like the church stuff gets kind of, oh, this is just, you know, something to do. So that is a request of mine. I call it homework. You still got homework to do. So when you go home, you need to learn the song. You need to practice the videos, and we try to be proactive about that. I send weekly text messages out, so I try to kind of or make it as organized as possible with that. So the don't for that particular group would be more so of, I always say don't kind of, I don't, it's kind of like I'm more so like, I know how as a child you want to, or as a parent, you want to expose your children to different things. And I feel like that is something we all should do. But if your child is genuinely uninterested in dancing, or just don't force them to do
Yes.
something, because then you're bringing them to us, and then it's kind of like pull and tug attitudes, bad behavior, things like that. So that's a really pet peeve of mine for the younger ones, even the teenagers. I play mother to a lot of my kids, and I've had to kind of get in some of their faces and be like, okay, listen, we're gonna have to figure this out, or I'm gonna call your mama. Which one you want? you know? So that's a big thing there. As far as the adults, I'm a little stricter most times in that area, because we are most visible and we're called upon a lot more than my younger groups. So for them, it's kind of the same, meaning you have to prepare yourself at home. I always say you practice at home and you come to rehearsal. So I shouldn't have to constantly be reteaching, because you don't know what we did last week because you didn't look at anything or you didn't go over it. And I get it. We all have lives. But we also are a little stricter about how, my thing is, if you're in this ministry and we're using our body, our whole vessel for worship, then you also have your outside life can not be all over the place. Meaning,
Right.
I mean, and no, none of us are perfect, and we all have, things that, don't always line up with the word of God. But if you're just consistently out here just doing whatever, that is not, you can't bring that energy in, and it's gonna spill out over the ministry. It's going to spill out even in your worship. You're blocking things. So if
Yeah.
your relationship with God isn't on a building consistent, like I'm searching, I'm on fire, I'm trying, you don't have to be, at the top tier level, but that will show up when you dance. That will show up when you're out there on the front lines. It's just, I mean, you're on the front line and you're battling. Some days you're battling with your own demons, and you are battling for the people that can't fight for themselves that are in front of you. So if you're not ready for that, I don't feel like you need to be out here. And I've had over the years people show up for shows and why I'm not on the front, why I'm over here in the side, why I'm over here in the corner. And I'm like, hey, we dance everywhere. You know, like if that's what you're here for, I mean, that's just, you might want to rethink that. I've heard it all.
Right, this ain't Beyonce. Calm down.
Exactly. Or
You
why, hmm, yeah. Or why you always right here? And I'm like, as the leader of the pack, I actually should be right here because I'm leading.
yeah, you gotta be in the front.
And that's not to say I'm better, because there have been times where I actually want to fall out, and I have, and I had to check myself because there was a season where I felt like, well, you know, I'm getting so much flack for being in the front. Let me just not dance. Let me take myself out of the equation. I've let other people do the choreography, and then it was, well, I'm doing all the work. Well, that's actually what leaders do. You set other people up to lead, but
Yeah.
then if you don't want the job, then quit complaining about the other things. You know, I heard it all.
Wow. Let's touch on that. As leaders, we are supposed to delegate different people in certain places because we can't do it all by ourselves.
Right.
And then we'll get the burnout and then we won't be able to lead anymore.
Exactly.
So if you are under someone's leadership and they're constant, like they're like pouring into you a whole lot and like have they hand on you a whole lot, it's because they see something in you.
Yeah.
So take advantage of that and actually learn from it and not be like, okay, well, why are they on my back all the time? Because there's something in you that we see and we want to cultivate it so you can grow. So when we decide, okay, when the Lord be like, okay, well, it's time for you to move on to something else, or it's time for us to go sit down somewhere, you next in line.
Exactly.
Don't give the leaders so much flack. Like we try our best. A lot of us do. We try our best to make sure that everything is on point and everybody is covered. But that takes a lot of work. So when we lean on you to do something, do it.
Yes.
And
Yes.
stop playing.
Stop
Yeah, ain't
playing.
nobody out to get you.
Right. And that goes back to that loneliness. You really like see where you are. And yes, God is amazing. God is just been such a blessing and covered us in so much grace. But then when you look around and you're like, okay, well, where is my help? Or who's next? And nobody really wants to step up to the plate, but people want the glory. And I'm
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, that ain't how this works, kid.
yeah, yeah.
The glory is the price of glory is expensive, and we all
Ooh,
can't afford it.
no,
Okay,
ma'am.
relax. Now, speaking of leadership, what is some advice that you can give to those in leadership?
Oh, that's a great question. For my personal advice for leadership would be more so of I would say first making sure that you do your own self-care.
Mm-hmm.
We pour so much out, um, and we forget sometimes that, or I would even say, yes, we forget, but also I think other people forget that we need that same pouring into. I think people expect you just to continue to just do. And then the other thing that people, I guess the other thing that people don't always think about or understand is even the people on your teams. If you choose to show up or not, I still have to. Because if nobody else shows up, it's still on you or on the leader. And that's a lot of weight. So we carry a lot of weight, but we also need people to pour back into us because we're always emptying ourselves. And for leaders, I have to kind of remind myself, you need to make sure that you're taking care of yourself as well. And if you're tired, take a break, because you can go so much, so hard, so fast that God would say, all right, body, be still. And
Yeah.
you look up and you in the hospital, or yeah, dehydrated. I've had kidney stones in the past. I've had surgeries for dehydrating myself and having kidney stones. I had 9 removed out of my left kidney. And I
Oh.
was leaving dance practice on a Saturday. And by that night, I was in the hospital. Why? Because I had not drinking any water probably that mostly that whole day. And I'm always going, 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 going. So
Oh.
that was 2014.
Mm.
But I'm just giving you an example. Make sure that you're taking care of yourself. That's something that I had to learn over the years, and I've always not put myself first. I've always, just again, I'm constantly moving. And I was told when I was single that was great. Like, yeah, that's why you single. Just make sure
Wow.
you're busy. That's your busy season. God is using you in your singleness, right? And I was all over the place. I towed up like 2 cars, probably driving all over Atlanta, jumping because we one site, multi locations. I mean, I used to bounce between Fairburn, Smyrna, Atlanta sites. Sometimes I've gone to Douglasville a few times. Kanye's is a far distance, but when
Yes.
we had those other ones, I was driving, right? And then I was like, oh my gosh, I'm tired. And then I got married, so I had to shift my priorities. But I'm still leading the pack. So again, like I said, you got to sometimes pull yourself and say, hey, sit down, relax, take a break, regroup, and allow yourself to be ministered to, and allow yourself to take time to just deal with your own stuff, not because you're always giving out. You don't have time. Sometimes we don't take time to just deal with our own stuff,
Yeah.
and then
And
find
give
that person.
yourself, yeah, and give yourself the grace to rest.
Yes.
It's okay. Go take a nap. Go lay down somewhere. Go
Mm-hmm.
to a spa. Take a break. I
Take a
mean,
break.
I know it's a mandate for us to be in service every single Sunday, but sometimes you may have to stay home and
Mm-hmm.
watch it, via streaming. Thank God for technology now. You
Mm-hmm.
have the luxury to do that. I'm not saying take advantage of it every Sunday, but sometimes you may just have to stay home
Yeah,
and just recoup. So give yourself the grace to rest. It's okay.
it is. Yeah,
It's
that would be
okay.
my biggest advice. Just learn to say, hey, I'm unplugging. Um,
Yeah.
my biggest, another thing that I'm guilty of, not allowing myself to unplug, when, especially, like, I remember I had to go, my best friend got married the same year I did, but this was January, and I had sent the young ladies to dance at our Conyers location. Yeah, Conyers location. But I was in Cancun because the wedding was there. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
on the beach with my phone, on the phone, trying to direct them at church.
Oh.
I'm like, why? Why am I
Yeah.
doing this? But
Why? Why? Yeah. You didn't leave nobody in charge.
I did. But and this is kind of a funny story. I left someone in charge, but one of the young ladies, she got cold feet at the last minute, and she did. I don't know. I don't remember if she made it out on the floor. We've had some instances that people probably, of course, people would never know this happened, but she had a panic attack and
Oh.
just I don't know if she made it to the floor or not. I think I told them to tell her to not dance. Matter of fact, yes, that's why I was on the phone. I was like, do not let her go out there. She can't go out there. And she did, and she just totally flopped with the dance, right? And we've had another experience where we were getting ready to go out and dance, and I had another young lady. She went to the restroom, never saw her, don't know what happened. I believe she just left after that. She never made it out there. So I'm always trying to make sure everybody's calm, because some people just lose it when they see, the floor, people sitting in the pews. But those are just unique stories. But so that's why I'm always like, okay, everybody good. I was on the phone, and they was like, no, we don't think she. I said she does. Please don't let her go out there. But she did. Things happen.
Yeah, things happen. It's okay, y'all. Now, what about the members? Those who are under the leadership, what are some advice that you can give to them?
Um. Hmm. So I would say for our members, especially the young adults that are up under me, which most of my adults are mid-age, between like late 20s, 30s, early 40s. So everybody's in kind of different seasons, but collectively, as women, we all we have, of course, the prayer circle. And we, that's when I think in the beginning of our conversation, I was saying a safe place. So we allow the prayer circle to be a safe place to come. And I always ask, okay, do we have any prayer requests or praise reports? And I try to create a safe environment where people can share. And I'm always saying, to them, as the leader or as just a woman, we all have different things that we're dealing with in life. But when we come here, you can express whatever it is that's on your heart, or you could be dealing with, because you never know who you're standing next to that may be either going through the same or know someone that could even help you. So for the leaders, the members, I'm sorry, that we have, I always try to just create. I like to think I try to create a space of comfortable openness. I know everybody is not going to share everything, but I want you to feel like, okay, she actually cares, about what's going on. And no, I can't put my hands literally on everything and everybody. But again, you never know who is amongst you. So creating that openness to say, we're all in this together. We do Bible study. Well, I'm gonna correct myself. We used to do Bible studies pretty regularly, but sometimes we get kind of just caught up in the, okay, we got to get it done because it's a request, or we got to get it done in 3, 4, 5 practices. So that kind of fell off. But that is still something, of course, I bring in the prayer circle. Like, is there anything that you want us to pray about, you want us to address? Is there a scripture, something like that we can kind of just keep always staying in an encouraging mindset and uplifting. I think that's very important, especially in our community. So that's probably the most of advice wise, I would say, for members, knowing, okay, hey, come join and become a part, but also knowing that you have, if you utilize it properly. Like, don't come in here with no, I'm trying to, be on the front line and I'm trying to be seen and look at how high my leg can come up type of foolishness, because we all in this together.
Yes.
We all in this together.
Yes. Oh my goodness.
And of course, there is order in everything. There is order. There is order to how things should be set up, how we choreograph. You know your strengths and you know your weaknesses. Don't come out here on some, I want to do this and honey.
You know what? I've been noticing that a lot over the years. People have been stepping into lanes that they don't belong in
Mm-hmm.
regarding choreography. It is okay if you don't know how to do all of that stuff. What you know how to do and what you've mastered will still get the message across just as effectively as the person who knows how to do all that extra stuff.
Right.
It's gonna be a disaster. Like, don't come up. Like, I visit, other ministries and stuff, and I'll get in a room with them, or I'll attend other conferences, and I could just see. I like to say, okay, I could see the hamster on the wheel running in your head. Like,
Mm-hmm.
this ain't gonna work. So just stay in your lane of choreography and what you know how to do, and just build off of that. That's why
Mm-hmm.
we have different, conferences in place, so you can train and get, add some more stuff to your repertoire and stuff. It's okay. You don't
Right.
have to know how to do it, all of these barrel turns and jumps, and you don't have to know how to do that. If you
You're
use
right.
what you have and just build off of it, you still gonna get your point across.
Exactly. You're absolutely right. Because I've watched, even for myself, I mean, I started in my as far as being the leader, I've started in my late 20s and I'm now about to be 41 in about 2 weeks. But I don't, I know my lane. Like, okay, 20s, I was, bouncing off the walls over here, but now, like, I remember we did the WOW conference last year. It was myself and another good girlfriend of mine that we danced to War Cry.
Mm-hmm.
And she was like, I said, okay, you can make up your part and make up my part. Well, I think initially we were going to make up stuff together, but I was like, we had limited time to do it. But
Yeah.
she was doing some type of rolling and jumping. I said, girl, my knees will not require me to get on this hard floor anymore. So I'm going to let you do the lows. I'm going to take the highs and we're going to do it like
Yeah.
that. So know what you can do.
Know what you can do. Absolutely. Know what you can do and stick with it. It's
Yes.
okay. It is okay. But I want to thank you so much for stepping into the dance room on today. Wasn't
Thank you for it was. It was. Thank you.
that
You know, it was hard to get me here. But
fun?
I
Was,
definitely
y'all. She was running from me, y'all. I've been trying to
ooh,
get her up in here. But hey, it's just for you.
thank you.
So please,
I've enjoyed it.
yes, thank you. Please tell everyone where they can find you or get more information about, Wings of Gabriel, just in case they're interested in joining.
Yes. Well, you can we actually have a Facebook page that you can get information off of, and that would be Wings of Gabriel Elizabeth Baptist Church. Or you can also go to the church website, which is elizabethbaptist.org, and look up under the worship and arts entry. You should be able to find us there. We do not have an Instagram page just yet. I think we're working on that now. But if you need to contact me personally, my Instagram is kw.bivins, and you can contact me as well.
Okay, well, there you have it first. There you have it, folks. Please be sure to like and subscribe to our channel at Get to Dance TV. You can follow us on Instagram at a Get to Dance, as well as be a part of our Facebook community at a Get to Dance conference. Now, if you would like to sow a seed into this ministry, this is great ground. You can do so via Cash App at $and Until next time, I will see you in the dance room. Bye-bye.
Bye.